Hello there, great person, and welcome to this new reaction of mine to a new trailer that apparently came out. Trailer of The Foundation, or I think it's just called Foundation. And yeah, thanks to Holtzman who pointed this out to me. I did not see that there was a new trailer, and yeah, if this happens, please point it out to me. I will, of course, gladly watch it. I can't wait for this movie. Jared Harris is in it. I don't know anything about it. If you've seen my last reaction, it's about this empire, I think, that's across the galaxy, and there's this prophet guy or messiah figure, so perhaps a bit like Dune, which I just yeah did some videos of on recently, and yeah, he's destined to topple the empire. I think that's what I got from the last trailer, but not yeah, not much more. So let's just get into that and let's see. And yeah, there was a black hole in it, and I love black holes. As you can see, this is not only the background for this video, it's the background of my Zoom conferences because I love black holes. Great thing. I'm doing a bit of research there, and yeah, let's see what they do with it. So let's see what this is. Not long till not long till we can watch it. Oh, that's
When I
lovely.
was a child at the edge of the galaxy,
Wow,
I
great
heard
visuals.
stories about a man who could forecast the future.
Ah,
But the
interesting.
story remained
Oh,
dark to me until many years later. Until it became my story.
who might you be?
Until it became the only story.
You're familiar with my work, psychohistory?
Every mathematician has read your theory.
It's not a theory. It's the future of mankind expressed in numbers. And the Empire won't like the future I predict.
History is littered with charlatans and false messiahs.
That is, I think,
kill them.
probably
We can
true.
murder the man, but what about the movement, brother? Martyrs tend to have a long half-life.
That's
His
a
math
great,
was right.
great.
The Empire is dying.
Wars will be endless. 1,000 worlds reduced
Wow.
to cinders.
Yeah, that's the Dyson sphere, I think.
Change is frightening. Especially
Yeah.
to those in power. But we can soften the fall.
So what's the plan?
Many
Do
years from now, if humanity is to climb from the ashes, the coming generations will need the knowledge to build upon, a foundation.
We must preserve only the most essential pieces of civilization. Deciding
interesting.
what is remembered,
I see, I
what is
see.
forgotten.
Ooh, that's interesting. Wow.
Down a barrel of a crisis.
This is the plan. We're not turning around now.
That is so interesting. That is so interesting. Wow, that is really something. That was a more dense trailer than I expected. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Wow. So there was not much that I can say now about the content of this more than I could before, except for I know got the next puzzle piece, so to speak. So it seems to be that the empire is falling down, and they know it, and they are thinking about how do we make the best out of it in a way, in a quite macabre way. So what of our civilization, our history, our deeds do we want others to know in the future when we're gone? In a way, that's the central thing I got from this. What they are trying to do and what Jared Harris's character is trying to do. So that's that alone. What a question! If you could choose, what would you choose? What would you want to survive? And I actually think yeah, everything in a way of history, I think. But well, no, yeah, that's a question. Like, that's my first answer. It's probably not my final answer. There is a lot to that question, so I might do actually a video on that after we watch season 1. That's something I really want to think about, because that's something I will really need to think about, because that's not an easy question. That's, wow, it's a hard question to put on someone. Yeah, but if they have to decide, wow. So anyway, let's go through the trailer a bit here. So this is some planet. I don't know, and there's this person here. And something else, I think they can transfer the consciousnesses into clones, so we might get to see younger versions and older versions of the same person, perhaps even at the same time. So yeah, she's talking about him. I think she's probably a scholar who studied his theory, which is something that irked me a bit, but it made sense the way he said it. But that's something you have to be careful with. Where was it? Let me see here. This point that irked me a bit.
Every mathematician has read your theory.
It's not a theory.
There. That's actually, if you misunderstand that, it's wrong. Wrong use of language, but it's in their I mean, if they are telling, if that's interesting, if they do this dialogue and they're scientists, it makes sense. But for a layman, I think it would not make sense, because oftentimes a theory is thought of as something, yeah, like a hypothesis. That's not it. Theory is one of the best, most powerful statements we have in sciences. Relativity is a theory. Quantum physics is a theory. You know, that's a theory. Something that's so powerful that it can explain so much. So it's not like this is a hypothesis. So if you are not into the science things and so much, you would probably understand something like, and let me paraphrase it, and you can think about if you understood it this way. So for a layman, it might sound like the dialogue is like this. I read about your hypothesis. It's not a hypothesis, it's actually true. That's not what he's saying. He said, I read about your theory, and he says, it's not a theory. That means it's more than a theory, because it has broader implications than you might think, which is powerful. And especially compared to his dialogue later, when he talks about that what I pondered on just now, the question, what do you want to carry over, perhaps? In science, that's always the questions. If you do science, what is connected to it? What social implications does it have? What can it do to society? I mean, science is the most objective thing, the closest thing to objectivity we have yet, now, currently, and that's a problem in a way, because you don't know what to do with it. I mean, think of the scientists that thought of the atomic nuclear bombs. That were just, those are calculations. Quite heavy calculations for that time. You have to know quite some things there, but it's just mathematics. And then you take it and build a bomb. You know, what do you do with that instrument that you created there? You can make a bomb, you can make a reactor that powers a city and makes green energy in a way, because that's nuclear energy is, I think you could even consider that green energy. So, you know, that's quite interesting. So that dialogue there, that's a very genius dialogue, but I think it might have gotten lost. That's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because as a scientist, that is genius dialogue, and for a layman, it might have just sounded cool, like, yeah, it's not a theory, it proved to be right. You know, that's not it. That's not what they are talking about. Just, I'm sorry if that bored you a bit, but that's something very interesting. I love that. Genius dialogue. But you have to perhaps have some background knowledge to really, really, really appreciate that, even though it's still a good scene. So, yeah, and these are I think this is the 3 times dude. I think we saw that in the last trailer. So there's some old, there's some middle, there's some young. same consciousness in a way, but copied. Yeah. So then he's saying, yeah, there were often people who talked like this. I don't know. I'm also curious as to how he will predict the future. He had a Mobius strip, which for me implies quantum physics. This looks like a Klein bottle or a Mobius strip. That's deep quantum physics. And yeah, it's interesting. Seems to be quite modern, this. So this is something this is more recent research. So, which is interesting to me. And yeah, they had the space elevator or something like that. So they had this tower into space. That might have been a space elevator. Great stuff. Great stuff incorporating that. That's so good. This looks lovely. Yeah, and yeah, this 3x dude obviously is not the best person. Apparently, he might, if that's from Asimov. I haven't read something of Asimov, and you might say again, you are not a sci-fi fan now, but there, I mean, it's for me, it's wonderful that I get to know all of this now, because I am actually quite fond of sci-fi. Just haven't read a lot, and not watched probably a lot. But yeah, so yeah, they are having this conflict, and the Empire, of course, the Empire wants to stay in a way, and that's natural. If you have a structure that in a way works, you want it to be there, but it can't work forever. Nothing works forever. Everything topples everything, and this is, yeah. I mean, this effect. Come on, I don't care. It's great for a TV show. That's enough for me. I mean, all the effects that we have here, that's so great. I would not have expected a TV show, and it seems to be a TV show on Apple, to have these effects. I hope it's not a movie. I hope it's actually a season of 8 episodes or so. And yeah, so this one here, I think this is what Holtzman also commented here. So if you're watching this, I think this is what I was also saying. This, you know, that you have the structure around the black hole, and I don't know what it exactly does. It might, you said it might catch in photons, which is, yeah, that might be. And I think that might also be a Dyson sphere, so, you know, structure around a celestial body that catches energy. And I think it would probably be the most intelligent thing to construct it around a black hole for power, because black holes live a lot longer than stars, and they give off their radiation, and that's probably useful to build, but it's also stupid to build, because if something goes wrong, if there is something wrong, you know, it's a black hole. I mean, what are you expecting? But they might have created it by this thing, actually. So they might have built the structure and created the black hole inside, because the black hole actually looked not that big. And if you have a black hole that's not that big, it might not be from a star. A black hole from a star is like, I might get this wrong. I haven't calculated this for so long. It might be 7 kilometers in diameter at least, but most are probably like 100, 200 kilometers that are remnants of suns. Yeah, this I don't know what this was. So I fixed it. Okay. Yeah, so it explodes. And I don't think, I mean, if there is a black hole inside, you couldn't see this explode, but we don't know if this is the black hole thing. And yeah. Yeah, actually it is. I think it is. Yeah, here. So, I mean, they don't do the time things here, which would be there. You know, it's for vision, so you wouldn't see it like this. You would see it very, very much slowed down, so it would be slowed down. So if the black hole event horizon is here, you would see it slowed down here and faster here, because the light is taking longer to get out. So yeah, but it doesn't matter. Looks cool, and I hope it's fun if they, in a way, or terrible. Also terrible is also good, can also hit home when it goes down. This might be the thing when it crashes into the black hole. Might also be another bomb or a supernova or a hypernova that wipes out a quadrant of the universe. I don't know. I'm actually curious how they do space travel. That's also always one of my favorite things. How do they do space travel? There are some very good ideas. Very good ideas. Yeah. And Jared Harris, great actor as always. Yeah, one of my top three. One of my top three actors. So beautiful shots, and it implies when they crash down here that it happened. The Empire falls down in this. I'm not sure. Might be misleading. If the Empire falls down and we see the aftermath, that would also be so interesting, because then there would be people who know so much more that they can than they can actually, use. And this, I mean, this is a barren wasteland. Perhaps there are somewhere trees, but yeah, that might be so interesting to see as well. Yeah, what would you take? That's wow, that idea. Yeah, I will think about that actually. I will think about it. And special effects here again, just absolutely marvelous. These are the remnants of the Dyson sphere. Let's call it Dyson sphere for now. Yeah, this is probably the sun of the planet. Which also does not make that much sense then. If there was a sun. Because if you have a black hole, there is like a sun there. So if there's another sun, it should have been a binary system. All the planets would have been effed up. But they might have been advanced enough so they can also place planets where they want and let them orbit around a binary star system where they created a black hole. That would also work. So it's interesting. You might say, yeah, this seems to be perhaps one of the databases that they leave behind, because I've seen that one on the cover. Or it might be a database left behind by another civilization, which would open another kind of worms, but that would also be nice. I like stories like that. I mean, I will one day, perhaps in 10 or 20 years only, but I will write a science fiction story. I've got a very good idea, I think, for it. And yeah, this reminds me a bit of it. This artifact thing. So yeah, then there's the Foundation logo. Yeah, great stuff. Interesting characters. Again, we only know 3 so far that we really do know. We know Jared Harris's character, who is some kind of prophet messiah, but obviously he seems to be a physicist and mathematician or some other thing that they have in the future, because perhaps it's not that science anymore. And he's calculated something about the future, that the Empire will fall down. Then we have a student who seems to believe in him, and we've got the other guy who's against him, who says he's just talking rubbish, he's a danger to us, and he's not right. I don't believe him. Which is, you could just calculate it. I mean, if there's a clever scientist there, I mean, don't you have AI? I don't know. Let's find that out together, perhaps. So I will definitely react to this. So I don't know yet how I will cut the videos, because I did my Sicario reaction. I had to put this stupid filter on the video, had to mute some of the sound, and I hope you don't mind it too much. Please let me know if you do, if you have another suggestion as how I do it. But yeah, so I will react to this, definitely. There's so much potential that I have so much to talk about this, because this seems to be like a lot of stuff that I have thought of already. Yeah, so great trailer. And yeah, again, I knew nothing about this. No clue. And yeah, that might, I think, yeah, there are so many questions, and the best works of science fiction have at least one really strong core question at their heart. At least one, I think. So in this one, it seems to be one of the core questions. If everything ended, what would you want to survive of humanity if you had to choose? And we don't know yet how much they have to choose. But yeah, that's a powerful idea. Powerful idea. There will be others, I'm sure. It's Asimov. I've heard very, very good things of his about him. And then, like Dune, there are several very, very core ideas there. Like, should you become a great leader, a great person, if you know it will not end well? Because in a way, in Dune, yeah, as I said in my Dune review, I think in Dune the antagonist is the future that the main character sees. Because there's also prophetic things, and that's one of the themes of Dune. And also about nature versus structure and technology in a way. And as far as I know from the first book, so that's good. And this one here as well posed a question that's very deep. I can't wait to find out more. Can't wait to find out more about the characters. The visuals are beautiful. I want to see those planets. I want to visit them with the people. I want to see what the cloning exactly is. Perhaps they will go into technology. I'm looking forward to that. And I can tell you what I think about the technology they use, if that's feasible, if that's stupid. I mean, it's not stupid because it's science fiction, they think it up, but you know how I would say it is in reality. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Might also check out some of my Dune stuff or some of my horror stuff, but yeah. Anyway, if you like this reaction of mine and my theories and my stupid ramblings, consider liking and subscribing. I will do more content of this nature in the future. I also do some horror reactions and some horror gameplays. And yeah, I hope that you have a very, very great day and perhaps see you soon. Bye.